If you've been following our journey here on Green Pillars, then you would know the different projects we've been working on with the help from the team from Egg Camp, an herb garden and a veggie garden. Last week we saw steps 1 and 2 of how we redid our veggie garden. This week we're looking at step 3, and we're also doing a 1-week follow-up on the garden along with the herbs. So stay tuned. Okay, so a week ago we took down my old veggie garden and started again from scratch due to the low soil pH and insect-infested crops that really weren't helping my crops grow too well. So I was lucky enough to get some expert help throughout the whole process, including today, where our experts are conducting a 1-week follow-up and helping me further condition my soil so I can get the best yield. But before we get into that, here's what we did for step 3 of our revamped veggie garden. For step 1, we completely cleared our old garden and turned the soil to start planting again from scratch. For step 2, we conditioned the soil with some liquid lime to help raise the pH level of the soil so that it would be at the right level for the crops I wanted to plant, which was French bean, cabbage, tomato and microgreens. Now moving on to our step 3, growth formula and fertilizer.
This is growth formula. It's a blend of plant vitamins. What it does, it enhances root formation in planting material. So by doing that, it guarantees germination in your planting material. Whether you use cuttings or seeds or seedlings. For example, seedlings or tomatoes and capsicums, when you remove them from your seed beds or seed trays, when you're going to plant them into the field, there are things like transplant shock, similar to culture shock with humans, because there's a different medium on the seed bed or on the seed trays, and it's a different medium in the plot where you're going to transplant. So to help inoculate the plant root system adjust to the different environment, you dip it in this solution. So what it does, it encourages root growth so that the plant root system get established in the ground and establish itself so that the plant will grow well. And we'll use this as a dip solution. What we're going to do is that I'm going to dip the French bean, just a few seeds, in this solution and leave it for a couple of minutes while we let it soak into the ground before we prepare it with we'll use the extra phosphate potash fertilizer as a base application. So we'll put like a teaspoon per plant application. We'll put this in the ground before we place the French bean seed on top of it and go.
And so those French bean seeds would have already been dipped in the growth formula?
Which is this.
Right. Okay.
It's environmentally friendly. It's seed friendly as well. It doesn't burn the seeds of the crop like the conventional fertilizer. That's one thing with the conventional fertilizer, NPK nutrient. If you put it close to the plant, it can burn the plant. With this, that doesn't happen. So you use this as a base. As the plant, that's the seeds germinate, as the roots comes out, you've got a food source that's already there for it to feed from.
Oh, they're blue?
Yes. It's coated with normally it's coated with fungicide.
Yeah. After letting our French bean seeds soak for about 10 minutes, we were finally ready to put them in the ground, starting with the base application of the extra phos and potash. The first thing we needed to do was make enough holes to drop our base application and seeds in. So, how many centimeters apart do they have to be, the seeds?
They said it should be 15 centimeters.
About 15 centimeters. On this side of the garden, we made 7 rows with 3 holes in each row, each approximately 15 centimeters apart. On the other side of the garden, which was the unfertilized side, we made 3 rows with 3 holes each, approximately 15 centimeters apart. The next step was to fill each of the holes with the extra phosphate potash as the base application organic fertilizer that would help the seeds germinate. We then drained the seeds that were soaking in the growth formula and proceeded to plant them 2 seeds in one slot. After planting the seeds, all we had to do was to cover the holes back up with some soil.
So you can see, like I said, I am very rookie at this, but just watching what Manda and Sayed were showing me earlier, I can do it myself, and that's exactly what we want to encourage everyone else to do. Try it yourself. Now this side of the garden, we're gonna do without any treatment. No growth formula, no fertilizer. It's just the seeds straight into the ground. Although, to be fair, we have given the whole area some liquid lime treatment. Just to be fair, but other than that, no other treatment. So we'll just see how they grow.
It was time to fertilize the Chinese cabbage patch, drop the seeds in, and watch them germinate until they were ready for transplant. And yes, we know what you're thinking, that's a whole lot of cabbage. But don't worry, they'll be moved to a bigger plot in no time. And for the final touch of some natural weather block, courtesy of our green thumb expert, Manda. And there we have it, our brand new revitalized veggie garden. Coming up next, let's see how the garden is doing 1 week later. Okay, so a week ago, my veggie garden looked completely different, and that was due to low soil pH and insect-infested crops. So my garden was not that great. So my friends from Ekkem decided to come over and help me spruce it up and condition my soil with the help of some liquid lime. So 1 week from now, we even managed to plant some extra veggies with the help of some growth formula and some organic fertilizers. So let's see, 1 week from now, how do you think my veggie garden's doing? Let's find out. Let's go say hi to Manda and say it. Hi guys, thank you so much for popping by again this week. So what's the verdict? How is my garden looking after 7 days?
Well, after 7 days, looking at the way the crops have germinated, the soil condition, and taking into account the amount of rain that we have throughout this week, not bad, not bad. It's coming up good. So the only thing we can do from here is what we can do to help these crops to become better. The weather we cannot change, it's out of our control, but currently looking at the crops, considering the amount of rainfall, it's not that bad. There's an indication of how good the lime was. Just look at the small pawpaw seedlings. See, from last week when we were playing, this plant was totally bent, and I thought it would have we would have lost it, but just look at how it has recovered. Just look at the part of the plant that was bent. Just how it has healed, how it has healed, and the crop is straight up and it's growing.
You can really tell the area that it healed from.
Yes.
Okay, so we've done the first stage, which was the liquid lime, which was the soil conditioner, and now we're doing the seed trace.
Yes.
Sorry, can you explain to me again what exactly the seed trace is going to do?
Protect seed trace, it's an organic liquid soil activator. It does have a few nutrients for the crop, but it mainly feeds the microbes in the ground that helps the crop root system on its daily nutrient uptake. The microbes, it's around the plant root system, and that the silent workforce in the soil that makes the mineral available to the plant.
Well, I mean, looking at the first stage, and it's already done so well, I'm going to be really excited to see what the next stage is going to look like after we do the seed trace. Okay, so Sayed, maybe you can help us out with how we're going to be applying the seed trace today.
So what we have noticed in my last visit, we used the plastic bottles to apply the lime on the soil, which is very good, but it took us a long time to cover the whole place. So what I did, I have just to make our work easier, I have brought in our knapsack sprayer just to make your work easy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What is this bad boy about? Look at that. So, tell me about this.
This knapsack, made in the knapsacks are made in Brazil, and the company whom we buy, they give us 3-year factory warranty, which means they guarantee that there shouldn't be any problem with the knapsack within 3 years. But it depends on the customers how they handle.
Yeah,
Before it was 1 year, and they made it more stronger, so it's 3 years now. And the knapsacks are efficient, comfortable, and durable, and affordable too. And if you have any problem with the knapsack, don't worry, Ekam got you covered. And we keep all the spare parts for the knapsacks. We sell, we repair, we repair all the knapsack we sell. We keep all the backup parts. And
you were telling me a story about a customer that came in after 20 years with the same knapsack to get a part change.
Actually, it was the 20-year-old knapsack. I think it was our best model, I think. So he came to me and he was expecting me that I will tell him to buy a new one. So I told him, don't worry, I'll repair it for you. And I just after repair, the charge was $12. So just imagine $12, the same 20-year-old knapsack he'll be using for another 10 or 20 years.
Too good. And this is the kind you just put on your back and you spray along, right?
Yeah.
And what are these little parts that you have
actually, here? these we call these the extension lance. This is 1.2 meter and this is 0.9 meter. This is suitable for tree crops where you can reach with the normal standard size lance. So this is designed for the tree crops, and if you using for the normal weed control, then you can also use this.
And perfect for people like me who are short.
Short, exactly. And just a quick brief on the tips we've got here. Actually, these are the flat fan deflector. These are only recommended for herbicide use.
Okay.
Right. These three, only for herbicide. And these are the low drift fan, flat fan tip. These are recommended for herbicide, but if you use it for insecticide and fungicide, it's acceptable.
Okay.
And these three are the hollow, the adjustable tips, which means you can adjust the way you want.
Okay.
It's either spot spray or the shower, big. So this covers a big area, and you can use it for insecticide, herbicide, and fungicide. It's acceptable, And we've got another accessory here. This plays a very important role. For example, if you're using a chemical herbicide in your plantation and you don't want the drift to go onto the plant. So what does it do? When you place it onto the lance and it just sprays wherever you go, the chemical drift stays within the guard. So we call this the weed control shield. So this helps, the drift doesn't go onto the plant.
Do you think we'll be needing that today?
No, we don't need this today. It's mostly used for to control weeds in plantation. If you're afraid the drift might go onto the plants. So this saves the chemical going onto the plants.
Okay.
First of all, I'll show you how to mix a chemical, anything, whatever you are applying, the correct way of mixing the product. So what I'll do, looking at the size of the plot you've got, 4 liters should be enough.
4 liters?
Yeah.
All right.
So
we need to fill up water?
Yes, please.
Okay. Manda, water please.
Okay, coming.
So that means we'll be filling the tank with the 2 liter only, 2 liter water.
Right.
Then we'll add the required amount of Protect seed trace. And then we'll top up again with the water. So it automatically mixes.
We stop there?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
When you buy a knapsack, you'll get a set of spare parts for free. And before farmers, they use the tuna cans for measuring. So now we have made their work easier. We have the calibrated measuring cup, which is attached at the back of the lid. So it makes farmers' work easier. It's calibrated.
Okay, and it saves space, like you're not going to lose the lid.
And if there's any chemical, once you put it,
and you just close it.
so all the drips back down. Yeah, exactly. So I'll just I'll show you how to mix. It's 10 mils per liter, so you need 40 mils. Yeah. So this is up to 50, so I'll put it just below 50. There you go. It's almost 40. Need the filter. It doesn't need that, so it will trap all the dirt in. Pour it in. And then water, please.
Oh, okay. Manda, water, please. And we fill it up to
4 liters. Yeah. Make it 4.
Yeah.
That's enough for first treatment. This sprayer contains 3 filters.
Yeah.
There's one at the bottom here,
Right?
and there's another one here. The
that's
trigger.
the inside of
Yeah,
the...
yeah. This is our demo piece to show farmers how the parts look like.
Yeah.
So there's another filter over here. There's another. The third one is here at where the tip is. So it filters here, the dirt here, here, and here.
So you're getting the purest product
Yes,
before you go
yes,
into your garden.
yes. And this is the agitator. Once you pump, let me just quickly show. Once you start using this lever, you pump, and this agitator automatically mixes the chemical.
Oh,
And this is the double boost. We call this heart of the knapsack sprayer.
right.
This small rubber plays a very important part in the knapsack, which builds the pressure.
Yeah.
So if there's no pressure, the knapsack is not building pressure. You know what to do. You just change this, and you're good to go.
Wow.
We repair the knapsack for the farmers. We also educate farmers how to repair. So if they want, they can leave the knapsack home. They can just come to us, buy the parts, and
Go home and just do it.
rather than taking the whole knapsack to the factory.
Yeah.
So it's up to
That's
them.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it time to spray now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first of all, you need to pump, and once the pressure is built properly, it automatically stops. And then what you do, see, it's spraying on the spot at the moment.
Yeah.
So to adjust this, the tip, you need to just turn it anti-clockwise, and there you go. Just spray.
it's a big
Not
spray.
you don't need to spray on the plant. Just spray around the plant, on the soil. That's why it's called the soil activator.
Ah.
There you go.
Can I try it on?
Sure.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn now.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it feels like I'm going back to school.
There you go.
Right. And this is that. So I pump.
You need to pump first
Okay.
using the pumping lever.
Ah. Ah. Yes.
Keep your head a bit down, right?
There.
Right.
Okay. So about like how far from the ground do you have to be?
This is the best.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Part. Okay. Around there. Alright.
And that was it. The final steps of our garden revamp was done. Now coming up after the break.
The distance that raindrop takes before it hits that seedlings at that young stage. Imagine a car traveling at 240 kilometers per hour with someone standing at the middle of the road, get hit by the traveling car at high speed.
That's the impact.
It's totally, you get killed.
Last week we also planted some seeds into these smaller pots. So we had the microgreens and we had the tomatoes, and these are some other plants that we've bought just to germinate the seeds in these, and then we'll transplant them into a bigger area. So we sprayed the seed trace on these as well. And Manda, I can see that the seedlings have fallen a little bit. Can you explain to me why that happens?
Yes, for example, when you are applying the liquid, it's the force of the chemical as it's sprayed on it, just because the seedlings at weak state, that's why it looks like that. But don't worry, as soon as it absorbs this, it will it will be upright again and be growing.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, by next week, it will be totally different from how it is right now.
Yeah.
See, we have applied to these crops, and at this seedling, at this stage, taking into account the current weather condition have changed. Now, our hurricane season is over, but we still facing rain and high rainfall area, even throughout last week and this week.
Yeah.
And high rainfall will affect the seedlings right now at this stage of growth. So that's why silent cloth or shades is very important. It breaks the impact of the rainfall on the crop so that it grows better. And with the application of these Protect seed trays, what we're trying to do, we help the crop grow up better so that we can help the crop counter the different weather pattern that is we are facing at the moment. We can't change the weather, but we can change what we do so that we can help the crop to grow up better, and then we'll get a good harvest at the end of the crop cycle. That we can change what we can do to help the crop, apart from the weather which is out of our control. For example, these two seedling trays, as we notice, these tomatoes are not so well. So hopefully with the application of the Protect seed trays, we can see a change in these seedlings before we can transplant them into the field, so that we'll get a good crop after transplanting this. And as for these cabbage seedlings, it still needs protection. That's why the shades are there in form of the coconut leaves.
Yeah.
What we'll try today, we'll put a cover over it so that it doesn't get the devastating effect of the rain. Imagine rainfall falling from up there.
Yeah.
The further that raindrops travels, the greater the momentum it gets. And imagine that impact on that small seedling. It can totally destroy that seedling at that young stage. The distance that raindrop takes before it hits that seedlings at that young stage. Imagine a car traveling at 240 kilometers per hour with someone standing at the middle of the road, get hit by the traveling car at high speed.
That's the impact.
It's totally, you get killed.
Yeah.
That's the devastating effect of heavy rainfall on those seedlings. Right? So if you need to protect that, that's why the silent cloth, planting in the nursery during the off-season, the idea is to protect the seedlings from the impact of rainfall. The seedlings will still have moisture from the rain, because you have different grades of mesh in the silent cloth, but it doesn't have that devastating effect of that raindrop. So you'll be able to get the seedlings to grow up from this stage to be stronger before we transplant it, and we will look after that by the other program later to feed the crop so that it grows better. So when it comes to harvesting, you'll have a good crop.
Well, thank you so much for coming by today for the 1 week follow-up and checking in. I'm sure we're going to come back and revisit our garden. Also, I feel like in a few months' time, I'm going to have so many veggies that I'm going to have to start eating more vegetables. I don't know if that's a great thing, but okay, we'll go with it. Anyway, this is a great new healthy lifestyle that we can adapt by, doing our own planting in our backyards and having our own veggies grow organically as well. Yeah. So thank you again, Manda. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just want to share with people that we are always there, and if you need advice and help, that you're welcome. ACAM's doors are always open, Monday to Friday, and we're more than happy to listen to your problems and help you, guide you how you can improve on what you're currently practicing. So at least you know that when you harvest something, it's of good quality and it will produce good health once you consume it.
Next week on Green Pillars, follow us on our adventure on a fiber boat to a hidden island to visit Sarah and Penne's backyard garden.